Ahmad Rashad back in New York. Just a reminder that Lewis Johnson will follow that story on Shawn Marion, and we'll have more information shortly. You got the Lakers and the Magic coming up right after this.
Happy family, happy browsing. Find everything housing. Everything housing. CaldwellBanker.com. Online. Happy family, happy browsing. Find everything housing. Happy family, happy browsing. Find everything housing. CaldwellBanker.com. Online. CaldwellBanker.com. Online.
A sellout crowd, better than 19,000 here at Staples Center, downtown Los Angeles. We get ready for the defending NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers and the Orlando Magic as we check out the starting lineup. Tracy McGrady up front with Bo Outlaw, Andrew DeClercq, and Darrell Armstrong. And the rookie from Florida, Mike Miller, has played well in the backcourt. Rick Fox and Horace Grant up front. Shaquille O'Neal, who has been on a tear since returning from the foot injury. And Brian Shaw comes off a 22-point game, and J.R. Rider in the backcourt. Kobe Bryant, game-time decision. And that decision is he will sit out once again. Third straight game he's missed with the sprained right ankle. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with Doug Collins. We have double barrel action on the sideline. We'll be joined by Jim Gray and Paul Sunderland. The officials are Hugh Evans, Jess Kersey, and George Tolliver. The Lakers coming off the victory here at home against Atlanta. On Friday night, Orlando had won 9 straight. They have now dropped their last 2. Friday night in Houston, they lost to the Rockets by 10 as Houston shot 50% from the field. So the Lakers controlling the opening tip. O'Neal putting the move on to Clark, who hit the deck.
Well, Mark, for people who have not seen the Orlando Magic, the one thing about this team, they want to get the ball up the floor. They want to shoot it quickly. The three-point shot is very important. They are not good in the half court, so expect a run-and-gun game led by this guy, Tracy McGrady.
Yes, Orlando, the third youngest team in the league, a team that has been getting better as the season progressed. They play at a very high tempo, a dangerous high-energy ball club. They collapse on O'Neal, who finds Grant.
Well, you can see they have no match at all for Shaquille O'Neal, as nobody does in the NBA. So now the double teams and trapping, Shaquille O'Neal passing the ball much better, has 7 and 8 assists in his last 2 games, so he is doing it in the absence of Kobe Bryant.
McGrady played by Fox, and a bad pass. The ball goes back to the Lakers. There's Doc Rivers, upset with the way his club has started. Doc, in his second year as head coach of the Magic, took over from Chuck Daly, NBA Coach of the Year last season as the Magic overachieved. They went 41-41 and finished just 1 game shy of making the playoffs. Ryder played by Miller. Here's Shaq. It counts, and the foul.
Well, you can see the game plan is very simple. Get the ball inside to Shaquille O'Neal. The first 3 times down the floor, he has touched it. He has 2 field goals and an assist. And when he gets it this deep, they just have no answers. Andre DeClercq way overmatched inside. Shaquille O'Neal takes his time, does not get into a hurry. Mark, one of the things we've seen over the last few games with Shaquille, as he has shot his free throws better, he is taking his time inside, not rushing his shot, and as a result, having a lot more success in there as well.
Shot well against the Dallas Mavericks at the line the other night, and you know that was important to Shaquille because he was upset with the hack-a-shack techniques earlier this season employed by Don Nelson and the Mavs. Outlaw with the putback. You know, you look, Doug, at this starting lineup for the Lakers: Shaquille O'Neal, Horace Grant, Brian Shaw, all former members of the Orlando Magic. Team that went to the NBA Finals and lost to the Houston Rockets in '95. All right, Grant with the open shot. Ryder. So the Lakers with an 8-2 lead.
Both of these teams very good offensive rebounders, and there you see the speed of Bo Outlaw. That's exactly what the Magic want to do. They want to push the ball up the floor and get their offense before Shaquille O'Neal can get back. When you look at the Magic right now, their big men cannot shoot the ball. So Shaq is going to patrol that middle. That's why they want to get it up the floor quickly.
And that's the major concern of Phil Jackson. Foul is called. Just Kersey blowing the whistle. And it's on Horace Grant.
Bo Outlaw runs the floor so well, and even after made field goals, you will see the Magic push the ball up the floor. Again, Outlaw not a shooter, nor is Don Reed. They will come in off the bench with Michael Zodiac. He can shoot the basketball. That will change Shaquille O'Neal's defense.
And here's Miller. Mike Miller, the third leading rookie scorer, is behind Mark Jackson of Golden State and Kenyon Martin of New Jersey, and he has really come on the past 2 months.
Well, when they lost Grant Hill to injury and they realized he was not going to be able to play, this is the guy that had to step up his game, and he has done that, Marv. See, what the Orlando is going to do is they're going to try to scramble the game. They're not going to let them run their set offense. They're going to trap. They're going to try to scramble, get them to take quick shots, and then get out and run. But Mike Miller's game has really picked up. And you know what? There's always a blessing in every kind of injury. And Grant Hill not being here this year, the one thing about it is Tracy McGrady has had to do more. Mike Miller has played more minutes. So when Grant Hill comes back healthy, it will really pay dividends for this team next season.
Rick Fox at the line. Doc Rivers telling us yesterday when Grant Hill went down, his initial fear was that guys would feel sorry for themselves, might use the injury as an excuse. Doc felt that was his major goal, to not allow those excuses to take hold.
Well, when you look at the record, 9-13 when Grant Hill was around, and that's not a problem of his. He was in, he was out, he was never healthy. But once he was out for good, they have gone 19-12, so they know he's not going to be there to come back and save them. They're going to have to do it themselves.
Miller for three. Well, this is an Orlando club that just keeps coming at you. They also take the third most shots in the NBA. We saw the pressure being used by the Magic on the inbounds. Lakers will be facing much of that here tonight.
What they want to do is the clock to get down, so it takes away the options. Once Shaquille O'Neal catches it, maybe a pass out and they have to take the shot. But Mike Miller is such an impressive player. I was really shocked. I had not really seen him in person until the All-Star weekend. He is much taller, Marv, than I thought he was. And you get a chance during this 9-2 stretch, what his numbers have been. He's been a key member of this team in this winning streak.
Foul is called. Don Reed getting a piece of Shaquille O'Neal. Don Reed, a man you drafted when you were in Detroit, a second-round pick. He was in the starting lineup for you for a stretch.
Mark, we started out my first year in Detroit. We were 9-13, and I was trying to get something turned around there. They were coming off a 28-win season, and Don Reed was one of our best competitors. He's an undersized center. I said, you know what? If I'm going to lose, I'm going to go with our competitors. We put him in the lineup and finished 46-36. So we were a winning team. I think 27-13. He was undersized, but he has a heart that's unbelievable, and he will always compete. I would always want him on my team.
Spent 4.5 years with the Pistons, last year with Detroit and Washington, then signed with Orlando as a free agent. You know, you also are much taller than I thought. First saw you in
but
person.
I play smaller.
No. And the foul against the Lakers. It's on Horace Grant. Check that on Rick Fox. And Tracy McGrady to the line. Kobe Bryant telling us yesterday that he feels Tracy is like a younger brother. Kobe said, of course, I'm only 22, and Tracy's 21.
Well, you look at the guy's numbers, career numbers in all of these statistics. And, you know, we spoke to Doc Rivers yesterday. We said, what did you think you were getting with McGrady, and what did you get? And he said, you know what? I thought I was getting a good player that could do some things. I didn't realize I was getting such a great player at this young of an age. And you know what, Marv, I think he'll be an all-defensive player once Grant Hill comes back, when he can spend a little more energy on that end of the floor.
Doc, it's picked off by Armstrong, 3-on-2. And Armstrong lost the dribble. Back comes Ryder. Wild shot, but Shaq is there.
Shaq is just running so much, you know, easier out on the floor. Mark, just looking at him, his weight is down. You can see he's been working extra hard to get himself in better shape. and you can see it just getting up and down the floor. He did not do this early in the season. He trailed and got into the play late. But look who's the first guy down the floor. Shaquille O'Neal. He just clears space and no one around him as he slam dunks in that finish. So good news for the Laker fans is Shaq getting that passion back once again that he had last season.
Fox called for the foul. That is his second. And Devin George will check in. The Laker supporting cast and the bench has done a nice job last couple of games with Kobe sitting out with a sprained right ankle.
Well, you know, everybody's talking about how are the Lakers different without Kobe Bryant. Well, the big thing, that the reason they're so different is they have to count on so many more guys within the framework of their offense, Mark, because he's a guy that can get a shot anytime he wants to. With him not in the game, they have to stay within the framework of their offense longer. That's why you've seen more balance in the scoring. They're not a better team. They have to play differently when he's not in there.
Once again, Orlando pressure stopping the dribble.
Go.
O'Neal with a beautiful sweeping hook over Reed. So the Magic up by 1. Armstrong for Outlaw. This is Miller for 3. The box out by Shaq. Lakers also looking forward to the return of Derek Fisher, recovering from that stress fracture in his right foot. Ron Harper is on the injured list with a knee problem. Foul is called. Grant will go to the line. Ron Harper sitting it out, hopes to return very shortly. Ron found a wheelchair waiting in front of his locker before the game the other night, courtesy of trainer Gary Beatty, it should be pointed out. Nice little touch. Lakers 0 for 5 from the line. Shaq 0 for 3 from the line. Well, you can log on to NBA.com after the game and create your own Shaquille O'Neal or Tracy McGrady highlight package on My Highlights. That's NBA.com, your ultimate online site for all things NBA. And here's John Amici checking in for the first time, replacing Don Reed.
You know, Mark, so much is made about the Lakers and all that's going on here with the soap opera with Kobe and Shaq or whatever. But when you look at the playoffs, I really think the keys for them is going to be the health of Horace Grant and Robert Horry at that power forward position. And then if they can get Derek Fisher and Harper back healthy at the point guard situation, because when you look at the Western Conference, those are two positions they're going to have to be able to defend if they're going to be able to get out of the West.
Armstrong off balance. Darrell Armstrong has been playing hurt with that pulled groin muscle, but he's been hanging in. Here's Ryder. Yes, J.R. Ryder with his second field goal. He has 4, and it's the Lakers up 16-13.
Well, he's a much better starter than he is a bench player, Mark, because he has a tendency to lose attention. And when he does that, it really frustrates his team and Phil. So as a starter, he is much more excited about being in the game.
And again, Mike Miller showing the touch. That's 7 points for Miller. Well, about a week and a half ago, Phil Jackson telling us he was about to start J.R. Ryder, watched him in the warm-ups and changed his mind. He thought he was preoccupied. That's one we have not heard.
Well, we've seen some moments with Isaiah Ryder. We see Shaw, who's played exceptionally well also, too. He comes off a season high of 22 points against Atlanta, but we saw him last week get frustrated and walk off the floor, speaking of Isaiah Ryder, to start the half, and, you know, came back, and Phil gave him another chance.
McGrady not able to hit. Brian Shaw on the rebound as we come up on 6 minutes to go in the first. And Devin George lost the handle. Oh, the Magic looking to break down court. Armstrong for 3. Another rebound for O'Neal.
This is a fun way to play basketball. You know, the Orlando Magic have such great energy. They push it up the floor. The first guy takes the shot. They get on the offensive boards, and I think Phil Jackson's going to try to slow the pace of this game a little bit. He does not want to get lured into too much of a track meet here today.
It's the Lakers by 4 with just under 6 remaining in the first.
Beer is like a natural food product. The fresher it is, the better it tastes. That's why Budweiser has 12 local breweries right here in the United States. So you know our beer will always be fresh. This one's for you. And you
What would you do with a crystal face able to withstand 2 tons of unadulterated pressure? Or a tachymetric scale so precise it can survive 240-degree heat? What would you do with the world-renowned Alpha Expedition timepiece?
Well, you'd probably just use it to tell time. And at $6,500, that watch could cost you over $30,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Today, we are celebrating a milestone. We showed a profit. Because of that, we are being funded an additional $20 million. One stipulation. We need to extend our infrastructure to Hong Kong, Tokyo, and Singapore, and do it in 90 days. What?
And that's when it hits you. You are so ready for IBM.
Speed, reliability, performance. The qualities that won Lance Armstrong the Tour de France. Now, they're available in international delivery. Introducing Global Express Guaranteed from the U.S. Postal Service and DHL. Delivery to over 200 countries in as little as 2 days guaranteed. Now, you'll know which team to ride with.
Fly like an eagle.
Ahmad Rashad in New York. We have more now on the condition of Shawn Marion, who was injured late in the Suns Jazz game and had to be taken off on a stretcher. Let's go to Lewis Johnson, who's live at America West Arena in Phoenix. Lewis.
All right, Ahmad, some real tense moment here at America West Arena. I'm in one of the back hallways where they took Shawn Marion into a medical exam room a few moments ago. As you saw earlier in the game, he hit the floor very hard out in the fourth quarter there, bounced his head off of the floor, but actually after they examined him and realized that his spine, his neck, and shoulder seemed to be okay, they decided to transport him to the hospital. He is being taken to St. Joseph's Hospital, which is about 2 minutes from America West Arena, where he will receive an MRI and a CAT scan. I talked with Suns owner Jerry Colangelo, and they are most concerned about the bouncing that happened with his head on the floor. But they'll take him, and we'll wait to see what those results are, Ahmad.
All right, thank you very much, Lewis. We'll have more on this story a little later. Now let's go back to Los Angeles and join Marv Albert and Doug Collins.
Thank you, Ahmad. What a difficult time it has been the last couple of years for the Phoenix Suns.
Well, our thoughts and prayers go out to Shawn Marion right now. I mean, Marv, you and I were getting ready to start this game, and we saw that, and some of the players saw it, and you could see the just concern in their faces. So let's hope that and pray that he will be fine after all these tests.
Lakers with the ball up by 4. Mike Penberthy, who just checked in, fires. Grant trying to keep it alive. Outlaw of the Magic on the rebound as we come up on 5.5 remaining in this first quarter. The Orlando Magic, 9 straight wins. They have dropped their last 2. They're in 28-25. They're battling for playoff position. They're in 6th place. They are a half game over Toronto, but just 1 game behind Charlotte. Now Penberthy and Shaw in the backcourt. O'Neal with Grant and George on the front line. Penberthy. Oh, he flipped one up. Wild shot and then knocked out of bounds by the Lakers. Mike Penberthy had an excellent game the other night against Atlanta. Not miss a shot, 4 for 4 from the field, 16 points. That equaled a season high.
Well, you look even go further than that. He's 8 of his last 10 threes, so playing with a tremendous amount of confidence right now.
Here's Amici, a line drive jumper by John Amici, who you may recall turned down an offer from the Lakers to stay with Orlando, a $17 million 6-year contract to sign a 1-year deal at $600,000.
Well, a guy named Shaquille O'Neal, who just caught the ball, was a big fan of his trying to get him here. When he turned it down, he said he'll pay for that. He said he'll eat a Spalding today. So we'll see what happens as John Amici looks like he's going to shoot jump shots from the outside rather than challenge Shaq inside.
Foul on Amici. Now you may wonder, how could a guy turn that down? Well, obviously there were promises made, and the feeling is that the Magic will make it up to him. So Shaq to the line. Once again, he's 0 for 3 from the line, and he is off to a poor start. Right here, let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you, Marv. You said beginning of the show, Kobe Bryant not playing today. He showed up here at the arena about 3 hours in advance, received some treatment. It's his right ankle. This is now the third game that he has missed. They worked on the ankle for almost all of that 3 hours with Gary Beatty. The choice came down to Kobe Bryant. He wanted to play, but decided against it just at the last moment, figuring that he can get tomorrow off, Tuesday off, and then travel to Denver, and he hopes to play then. We hope to hear from Kobe a bit later on. Back to you, Mark.
All right, thanks, Jim. Tracy McGrady with his first field goal. Doug watching Shaq, who is now 0 for 5 from the line, and the Lakers now 2 for 9. We were talking with Doc Rivers yesterday about the possibility of a hack-a-Shaq philosophy. He said, you know, he doesn't believe in that because he feels that if you do that, you're telling your players we can't compete. But he may change his mind. Oh, Shaq not able to put it down.
I think that's a great point. As the game goes on, if Shaq is not shooting them well, the one thing you can't let him do is punish you inside. And with him being 0 for 5 today, he's always going to be a work in progress, Martin. When he has one of these days, sometimes he struggles the entire day, so we'll have to see what happens. He always says, though, I will make them when it counts.
Well, and Shaquille just threw that outlet away.
To the alley-oop. Brian Shaw loves to throw that pass to Shaq. Actually just threw the ball right over the back of the rim. The timing was there. Shaq just mistimed just threw the ball over the back of the rim.
Amici and Berthy not able to hold on. Armstrong does, and here's McGrady for 3. Tracy McGrady from downtown, and the Magic up 22-19.
You know, Marv, you did a lot of the games last year, the New York, Toronto, and you saw with this guy, especially in the playoffs, I really thought that's when his game grew. He really played so well, and looks like he's taken those playoffs and come right into the season with an unbelievable amount of confidence.
Brian Shaw showing some confidence the last couple of games. Lakers now down by 1. Well, what Orlando liked about Tracy McGrady, even though he is an emerging star, an all-star this season for the first time, because he was in a secondary role with Toronto with his cousin Vince Carter, the main guy there. He's an unselfish player. He looks to set other people up, and that's been his attitude.
Well, that's, you know, Doc Rivers said he loves it, the fact that he was basically a role player early in his career, and he's grown into being a star. So that has been a real benefit for him, and you can see him down in that post. He can just jump up and get a shot anytime he wants to.
And here's McGrady drawing the foul. Will it count? Did he get the call? No, he did not. He was looking for it, fouled in the act, and a timeout taken with 2:46 remaining in the first. It's Orlando up by 1.
Kevin, I'm going out. Remember, when the guy comes to fix the dryer, tell him it doesn't dry. If your mother calls, find out what flight she's on, otherwise we won't know where to meet her. Dinner's in the oven. Turn it on at 5.
Eat a Wendy's honey ham and chicken sandwich and something happens. That delicious combination of a whole breast filet, honey ham, and creamy Dijon sauce makes it difficult to pay attention to anything else.
And I told the neighbor you'd feed their cat. If you have a minute, honey, the back door's stuck open.
Come in. Wendy's honey ham and chicken.
Lunch, anyone?
I was a quiet kid. Nobody paid attention to me. At school, cuz not even the word was mentioned to me. That had to change. So I started acting a fool, and all of a sudden I'm the man. All of a sudden I'm cool. Attention was rude. Now it's with the women I flirt. But when I'm climbing with these girls, I ain't doing my work. It's me that I hurt. Though I got the attention I craved, that next year when school started, I was stuck in that grade. And mom's mad now. Oh, yeah, she ready to burst. I know now, dog. That was a turn for the worst.
We as scientists don't believe things right off the bat. You always have to be seeking out what the truth really is. Research is the game here, because if you can find things out other people can't, then you can act on them.
When researching his personal investments, Dr. John Seeley Brown trusts CSFB Direct. That's because it offers access to 6 leading independent sources, all backed by one of the world's top research firms.
Research is a way to actually get a competitive edge.
People who know CSFB Direct.
Some of boxing's biggest names in one spectacular night of fights, starting with John Ruiz. He's got a score to settle with 4-time heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. Ruiz thinks he was robbed in their last controversial fight, but can he become the first Hispanic heavyweight champion? Plus IBF bantamweight champion Tim Austin, former world champion Miguel Angel Gonzalez, and the first lady of the ring, Christy Martin. Holyfield Ruiz 2, The Last Word, live on pay-per-view this weekend from your cable or satellite company.
Davis Love, David Duval, Greg Norman, Ernie Els, and more. The PGA Tour's Southern Swing on NBC starts with the Genuity Championship next weekend.
Ahmad Rashad in New York. We have another update on the condition of Shawn Marion, who was injured late in the Suns Jazz game. Let's go to Lewis Johnson in Phoenix. Lewis.
All right, Ahmad, I'm with Phoenix Suns team physician, Dr. Tom Carter, and right now, what is Shawn Marion's condition?
Well, we know he suffered a concussion from the fall. Anytime you have a concussion, you always have to worry about other injuries, and specifically the neck. So that's why we were very cautious out there, making sure his neck was immobilized. We took a preliminary x-ray here. It does not show any fracture. Once he became more coherent, he did not have any signs of any numbness or tingling or weakness that would indicate any signs of nerve injury.
Okay, Doc, thanks so much. Ahmad?
All right, thank you very much, Lewis. We'll have more on that story a little later. Now let's go back to Los Angeles and join Marv Albert and Doug Collins.
All right, Ahmad, and here at Staples Center with 2:46 to go in the first. Orlando has a 22-21 lead. And just moments ago, Jess Kersey, who appeared to pull something, chatting with the Laker trainer Gary Vitti a moment ago, is out the rest of the way. We'll see two officials handling it, Hugh Evans and George Tolliver, instead of the usual three.
Well, what that does, it makes it very difficult to see a lot of things off the basketball. You don't have that third set of eyes out there. So, but you've got two very quality officials, especially with Hubert Evans out there. So they'll do fine.
Nice move by Troy Hudson, who just checked in. Four-year man from Southern Illinois, who fans here in Los Angeles are familiar with. One-time member of the Los Angeles Clippers. Hudson coming on for Darrell Armstrong. And the Magic up 24-21. Robert Horry on the floor for the first time. Miller with the rebound. So Amici is up front with Outlaw and Miller. Nice play. Once again, the Magic able to push the ball down, and the Lakers do not get back.
See, their big guys can all run, and you have guys on the perimeter that can all handle the ball. Now, that was Mike Miller at 6'8", who made that play to Bo Outlaw up ahead. So they can really push the basketball because they have excellent ball handlers in the backcourt.
And again, Doc Rivers going to the pressure. So the Lakers taking lots of time to get it across midcourt, not getting good shots. McGrady being played now by George with a minute and a half remaining in this first quarter. Here's Outlaw, strip. Lakers felt that it was deflected out by Outlaw, but it will be Orlando in possession.
See, Mike Miller at 6'8" pushes the ball up the floor, and Bo Outlaw does a great job of getting behind the defense and actually hiding on that baseline. No communication by the Lakers. And the one thing you don't want to do is let Bo Outlaw lay the ball in the basket. He's not a good free throw shooter. You've got to put him on the line.
Bo Outlaw, known as a shot blocker and rebounder. Here's Horry, and draws the foul. As we mentioned earlier, we have double coverage on the sideline here today. We heard from Jim Gray just moments ago. Now let's check in with Paul Sunderland.
All right, Marv, thank you very much. More on Jess Kersey. He was examined, albeit with a cursory look by Laker trainer Gary Vitti. He's injured his left Achilles. We'll try to update that for you. And very importantly, as far as the players are concerned, the groin injury, Marv, that you alluded to for Darrell Armstrong. He's been dealing with this shortly after the All-Star break for the last 10 days, and it's very sore and heavily wrapped. And I was talking to Doc Rivers before the game in the locker room, and he told me he is very, very concerned, and that's why he's got Troy Hudson in the game now. Played Darrell for 7 or 8 minutes, then pull him out. He did play 38 minutes against Houston, but Doc had to follow the exact same pattern, taking him out 3 or 4 times. Orlando wants to play very much up-tempo, so Darrell Armstrong, the key to that machine. Marv?
All right, Paul, we were chatting with Darrell yesterday, and he said for inspirational purposes, he has seen the motion picture Remember the Titans 20 times and saw it yesterday. It's unbelievable.
Well, just to follow up on what Paul was talking about, Troy Hudson has really been playing very poorly, and they need him to give him some minutes because with the kind of injury that Darrell Armstrong has, when he gets fatigued is when he gets himself in problems.
As an addendum to Darrell saying, Remember the Titans 20 times, our Jim Gray saw Rugrats in Paris 12 times, including yesterday. Foul is on Devin George. So Tracy McGrady to the line. 55 seconds remaining in this first quarter. And to this point, Orlando's high-energy game and trapping defense has bothered the Lakers.
And what they've done is they've taken away layups from the Lakers. They've fouled them, and the Lakers really struggling at the free throw line. So this game right now is in the balance for Orlando, but the Lakers continue to struggle from that free throw line. Tracy McGrady is just making the game look so easy. That's the thing that jumps out about it to me, is he's such an efficient player, so talented, but it's just everything is easy for him.
Again, the trap by Orlando in a game like this. You can see where the Lakers missed Kobe Bryant.
Oh, no question. There's a guy out there that once you throw the ball in that trap, you can make a play rather than have to necessarily shoot a three-point shot, although Shaw is shooting it well.
Brian Shaw with a second from downtown. 35 seconds to go in the first. Amici.
There's that ball.
By O'Neal. Shot clock at 10. Hudson firing one that was in the direction of the roof here at Staples. Fouled by Penberthy. And Hudson to the free throw line. Troy Hudson spent time with the Jazz and the Clippers. He was at one time the starting point guard for the Los Angeles Clippers, who had a thrilling double overtime victory here last night at Staples against the Portland Trailblazers. A reminder, Monday night, right here on NBC, tune into an all-new Dateline about a real-life murder mystery. Was a loving wife and mother a victim of the perfect murder? We posed that question. You'll see it on Dateline NBC. That's tomorrow night at 8 in the East, 7 Central on NBC. Final seconds of this first quarter. 28-25. Magic with the lead. Lakers holding for a last shot of the quarter. O'Neal. Rebounded by Monty Williams, who checked in a moment ago, and Monty flings one. So that's the end of the first. It's the Magic 28 and the Lakers 25. Shaq with 8, but 0 for 5 from the line. Brian Shaw with 8 points. Tracy McGrady leading the way for the Magic with 10. We'll be back to Staples in a moment.
This is your captain speaking. If I could have your attention for a moment, folks, I'd just like to say that American is proud to be the only airline to remove seats throughout coach, so you all can have more room to cross your legs. However, we do kindly request that you not all do it at the same time. Thank you.
For people who are demanding.
Extremely.
The Schick Extreme 3. Triple blade performance. Pivoting head, sleek design, and best of all, after a whole bunch of great shaves, you just serve up another one, which is rather convenient.
Extremely.
Schick Extreme 3.
Schick. Shave something.
Without handles, I'll be without control. Without soul, without man skills to take it to the hole. I be crossover talent. Shook so bad. ACL start buckling. I be constantly in foul trouble. A point guard's favorite target for triple doubles. I be victimized, facialized, posterized. I be some lone spectator on the other side of the fence. Memory lab. Wonder where my skills went. Where would I be without handles? Game over.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Blue from American Express. By the first 1-calorie cola that tastes more like a regular Pepsi One. This one's just right. By IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by Adidas, Forever Sport.
All right, help me out. I don't even remember the old rotation. What do you remember about the 2-man?
Let's just
let our instincts come back.
Okay, all right, okay.
I mean, basically, we got to balance the floor.
Right.
Ball comes strong, we rotate.
We rotate,
the
yeah.
got cover, weak
Okay,
side.
all right, okay.
More out on the floor.
Out on the floor, yeah. That part I can handle, yeah.
Well, midway through the first quarter, the veteran official, Jess Kersey, was forced out because of a strained Achilles, and they're just going over the configuration when it's two officials working rather than a third.
Well, they want to make sure they can see off the ball, and that trail official's got to get himself in a situation because the third guy normally referees what they call the slot, and he can look through and see a lot of the contact. So there's a lot of teamwork with the officiating. You don't see it and you don't talk about it so much because these guys do such a great job. They only catch the grief, when it's a bad call.
And Jim Gray telling us that Jess Kersey is hoping to return. Oh, it gets a very friendly hop. Michael Doliak, who just checked in with his first bucket, and the Magic leading 30-25.
Well, that's the shot that Doliak has to make. He's got to bring Shaq out of the lane, then it's going to allow the other guys to penetrate and get to the basket.
Paul Sunderland hovering around the Orlando bench saying that Doc Rivers was not happy about the Magic style in the first quarter. He wants them pushing it even more. He wants more energy out there.
Well, just to give you a statistic, when the Orlando Magic score over 100 points, they're 20-5. When they don't, they're 8-20. So they have got to push the game and get it up to 105, 110 if they think they're going to win this game today.
Wide open shot for Ori. It got a piece of the glass. Monty Williams. Mike Miller. Here's Miller going glass, and he's fouled by Penberthy.
See, Barb, you look up at the shot clock right now. There's still 19 on it. So they get this shot within 5. And the record by month, you see what has happened with the Orlando Magic. You see what they've done in their points. So as their offense has gotten better, they have done a great job of winning the basketball game. The three guys responsible for that have been the guy at the free throw line, Mike Miller, Tracy McGrady, and Darrell Armstrong. Those are the three key scorers for this team.
Yeah, this is a team that has come on despite the loss of Grant Hill, out for the year, recovering from surgery on left ankle. Pat Garrity recently, arthroscopic knee surgery. Doc telling us he would have started Garrity today against Shaquille O'Neal.
Again, it comes back to the ability to shoot the basketball. When you play the Lakers, your two big guys must be able to shoot the ball. Otherwise, Shaq is going to be hidden underneath on one of them. So if he can throw out there Garrity and Doliak, both of those guys can shoot, and you can't hide Shaq defensively inside. He said also, expect to see McGrady as a power forward some today. We'll go with a small lineup and let Doliak be our center. So we might see that later, Marv.
All right, the Magic up by 7. It is their biggest lead, and Shaq had to come back to help out because of the pressure defense by Orlando. Rick Fox steps back for the shot, and the Lakers are not getting good shots. Here's Ryder popping.
But you got to rebound the basketball. The Magic are not a good defensive rebounding team, but an excellent offensive rebounding team. And
Hudson able to take it to the rim. Robert Horry with the hustle to hold on. Fox played by Miller. Doliak is on. O'Neal with some help from Outlaw. Ryder. Rebounded by Horry, finding O'Neal. 32-29. Orlando up by 3. Shaquille has 10 points. Outlaw off the fake. Lost it.
He made that quick move. It looks like his foot slid out from underneath him, but Shaquille O'Neal once again much more active and agile than he was early in the season. His weight is down, his foot is healthy, and then you come back with Outlaw. It looks like as he starts to go there, his foot just slips out from underneath him, looks like on a wet spot, and gets the turnover.
Shaq missed 6 games due to that strained arch in his right foot. Since his return, he's averaged 30 points, 12 rebounds. Here's Penberthy. And you could hear the contact made by Hudson. Coming into tonight's play, the Los Angeles Lakers at 36-18, tied for 5th with Sacramento. Game and a half behind. Weston leading Utah. They have won 8 of the last 10. They've won 3 in a row. Fox Lakers shooting has been off. Horry took a shot in the chest.
We see what's happened, though, the last 3 possessions. They've gotten offensive rebounds on each possession and scored all 3 times. If Shaq scores, it'll be 3 straight scores off offensive rebounds.
Outlaw. Hudson. Hudson putting moves on Pember, be able to beat him off the dribble, but O'Neal is back to help.
Well, in the Missouri Valley Conference, you didn't see any Shaquille O'Neals inside there. He's used to playing, again, at Southern Illinois, and he's had some stints with different teams. But when you get in here, you've got to look to pass the basketball. No little flippers around the basket. With Shaquille O'Neal, as his shot blocking is better. And again, so much of this is the fact that I just think his passion and energy are back. He sees that the playoffs are close, and he wants to be ready.
The Knicks, the Raptors, next Sunday at noon Eastern on NBC.
Elevator's out. I walked up.
Just another scorcher.
It's hot.
High of 95.
Come on, it's too hot to play games. Oh, come on.
You're getting warmer.
You're getting hotter.
You're burning up.
You're getting colder. You're getting colder. You're freezing.
Coors Light, frost brewed at the edge of freezing.
You're an iceberg.
Credit card statements, CD, money market.
Those banks. They nail us with high credit card rates and pay us nothing on our CDs. There's no escape.
Don't worry, I switched everything to Capital One.
Oh, no.
To the neighbor! Capital One offers some of the best rates in the nation on CDs, money market accounts, and platinum cards. What's in your wallet?
It's the only vehicle of its kind with full-time all-wheel drive and a 325-horsepower V8. Is it possible the ultimate performance and control machine isn't German, isn't Italian, and isn't a car? Introducing the GMC Sierra C3.
Perfect hunter. No one shoots like you. Totally silent.
They send their top marksmen to stalk you.
Completely hidden.
If you kill him, you can win the war for us.
On March 16th, the duel begins. Joseph Fiennes, Jude Law, Rachel Weisz, Ed Harris. Enemy at the Gates. Rated R. Friday, March 16th, everywhere.
He defies physics. A high-flying showman. Oh! With a fear of no one. Vince Carter leads the Raptors. Latrell Sprewell leads the Knicks. A playoff rematch next Sunday, noon Eastern, NBC.
Orlando has a 3-point lead. We are early second quarter. Doc Rivers, in his second season as head coach of the Magic, played 13 years in the NBA, spent 2.5 years with the Knicks, good portion of his career with Atlanta, and said he's been greatly influenced by the coaches that he played for. There's Mike Fratello was head coach of the Atlanta Hawks, Larry Brown with the Clippers, and then Pat Riley with the New York Knicks. Says he's taken a little piece from each guy.
That's what you do. You know, as a young coach, you say, you know what, I really like what this guy did, whether it be practice or game situations. You take a little piece, but then you put it to your own personality, and that's what Doc has done. He's energetic, he loves the game, he's passionate, and you can see his team plays that same way.
Off the turnover, the ball back to Orlando. Doc finished his playing career with San Antonio back in 1996, was a television commentator and analyst for the Spurs, and then Turner Sports. Miller, once again, he has 11 points. And Doc said, you probably can relate to this, that actually in going around and doing television and meeting with coaches and players, he felt that helped in his coaching.
Oh, great benefit. First of all, as you sit over here and you prepare for 2 teams. Then you go to practices, you talk to the coaches, you talk to their players, you watch them prepare, and that is a huge advantage to be able to do that. Then what it also helps is that when you go coach against them, you have a little idea of the philosophy, the way they like to do things, and it helps you in your preparation.
See, the problem with Mike Fratello doing broadcasting, there were no coaches and players who will talk to him.
He was blackballed.
He's having a very difficult time. 8:46 remaining in this first half, and the Magic up by the score 34-29. Michael Doliak called for that foul. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim.
All right, Marv, not good news for Jess Kersey or for the officiating crew. He has a partially torn left Achilles. Obviously, he will not return today, and that can be a pretty bad injury for anybody who needs to run up and down as these officials do. So we wish him the best, and we'll just follow it and see what happens. But he definitely will not be back today and could be out for some time. Marv?
All right, thank you very much, Jim. Shaquille O'Neal, here's the applause from the crowd. Missed his first 5 at the line and hits 2 in a row.
How often have we seen him? He's such a streaky player. He might miss 5 and then get up there and really concentrate and hit 5. But it seems like he always finds that magic anywhere 50 to 60% when it's all said and done.
We've touched on this before. And I know at LSU, behind closed doors, Dale Brown at times did have Shaq go with the underhand method. There's O'Neal. And with the departure of people like Rick Barry and George Johnson, who learned it from Rick, you just do not see players shooting underhand. This apparently just doesn't look good. Well, from a macho point of view.
Well, it's a vanity thing. You got, the most dominant player in the game shooting free throws underhand. That would be a tough thing for Shaq. But
don't you have more control?
Yeah.
Less things can go wrong. Aureus foul.
Well, especially you can soften up the shot. You can get good arch on it. And when you have huge hands and a wrist injury like he has had in the past, it's always going to be a problem with him shooting the conventional way. But you can see 67% in the last 3 games, the month of February, what he's done. But more importantly, what this does is he now wants the ball at the end of the game. And, Marv, regardless of what a great player Shaquille O'Neal is, when you're struggling at that free throw line, it's very difficult to want that ball late in the game knowing they're going to put you on that free throw line and send you to your weakness. So the better he shoots them, the better it is for the Lakers in that hack-a-shack ends, and then not so much pressure on Kobe Bryant to have to take all the big shots at the end of the game.
And that is a point that Phil Jackson has been making on a number of occasions. And we'll see how the Magic will play it. As I mentioned a moment ago, Doc Rivers said he does not believe in hack-a-shack. But if watching Shaq shoot the free throws here in the first half, if that's a strategy that works, if he's having problems, we might see it later on.
If the game is close, Shaq will shoot a lot of free throws in the fourth quarter. He's got 4 guys that he can take fouls with, so there's 24 fouls he can use.
Doliak on a quick release, not able to hit. Orlando up 36-34. Mike Penberthy getting the playing time off the good shooting performance Friday night against the Hawks. Penberthy and Ryder in the backcourt with Fox, Horry, and O'Neal up front. Shot clock down to 2. Fox. Ryder able to save it and hit.
That ball must have barely skimmed the very part of the lower part of that rim. It looked like an air ball, but once again, the Magic right back on top of the rim before the Lakers get their defense set.
The game tied at 36. Orlando has led by as many as 7. Penberthy. And Monty Williams foul. Good luck from Tracy McGrady.
You can see exactly what the Magic are doing. The first big man runs right down the middle of the floor, right to the front of the rim, and the first look is pass to the outlet man about at half court and look ahead. Marv, how many times have we seen already Bo Outlaw, Monty Williams beat the defense down there and be right at point-blank range?
So Monty Williams to the line in a 7th season out of Notre Dame, 2nd year with Orlando. A reminder, next Sunday at 12 noon Eastern Time, more NBA action. Latrell Sprewell and the Knicks hoping their hard-nosed defensive style can shut down the explosive Vince Carter and the Raptors. Knicks beating Sacramento earlier today here on NBC. That's next Sunday at 12 noon Eastern right here. And a reminder to join TBS Tuesday night. Seattle Sonics and the New York Knicks at the Garden as Patrick Ewing makes his return. That's 8 o'clock Eastern. And then on Wednesday on TNT, it's the Miami Heat and the first place Philadelphia 76ers, also an 8 o'clock start. 6:20 to go in this first half. McGrady off. Rebound is tipped home by Doliak.
Now you see the Lakers playing up and down. That's exactly what the Magic want. Get them up and down the floor taking quick shots.
O'Neal getting position. The basket will not count. A foul before that shot attempt.
When you push the ball up the floor, you get mismatches. You've got Shaq playing McGrady on the perimeter. That means no box out on Doliak as he goes to the left-hand tip-in. So you create mismatches with your running, and when guys get covered up by smaller players, the big guy goes right to the front of the rim. That's exactly what Doliak did. Normally he's going to make the outside jump shot. That time, the nice little left-handed tip-in.
Foul called on Miller, and here is Shaquille to the line with the Magic over the foul limit. So Shaq 2 of 7 at the line. Well, he's hit 3 in a row.
These are the numbers since the All-Star break. He said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be better than I was in the first half, and he has. And the big difference there are the free throws. The increased scoring directly related to his improved free throw shooting.
Shaq missing on his second attempt, 3 of 9 in this first half. Darrell Armstrong is back on the floor, being guarded now by Tyronn Lue. Doliak. And O'Neal with his 8th rebound. This is the first of 2 regular season meetings between the Lakers and the Magic. They'll play in Orlando in 3 weeks on March the 18th. Lue not able to hit. Rebounded by Miller. Lakers have won the last 3, 17 of 23 all time against Orlando. Well, Horry with a good defensive effort, but it will be Orlando ball. But first, a timeout. 5:23 to go in the first half. It's the Magic by 3.
When you've got the power to tow 15,000 pounds, you'd better be able to keep that load under control, says engineer Nancy Huber. For the new GMC Sierra Heavy Duties, her team offers Allison, a transmission so smart it helps select the best gear for the load, no matter the grade you're on. Nancy thinks you should enjoy the scenery, not become part of it. Introducing the all-new Sierra Heavy Duties.
MSN Money Central, you've got the #1 ranked financial site to check all your accounts from any web connection anytime.
Through the door. Welcome to the Miller Lite Racing Garage. This could be your chance to win the ultimate race fan experience.
Grab your Miller Lite Racing VIP hard card, and you could be the lucky winner who gets to race by day and party by night. You'll fly to Vegas and spend all day learning how to drive a stock car. And after a few laps around the track, you and your friends will get to hang out in the party pit at the Miller Lite Racing Garage. So pick up your Miller Lite Racing VIP hard card in the specially marked packages at Miller Lite. Taste the victory. It's Miller time.
We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Everybody should be shaking in the house. What's up, man? What's going on, baby? Don't look surprised, 'cause you know I like that tonight we ought to do it. 'Cause the boys are back in town. And when the boys are back, there ain't no fooling around.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by GMC. From professional-grade people come professional-grade trucks. By Frost Brewed Coors Light. Tap the Rockies. by Enemy at the Gates. Starts Friday, March 16th in theaters, rated R. And by Capital One, what's in your wallet? Back in Los Angeles, we've been talking about the free throw problems of Shaquille O'Neal, and thus far just 3 of 9 at the line of this first half. Does that mean that Shaq might not want the ball in the final minutes, as Doug pointed out just before the commercial break? Well, we talked about that with Phil Jackson.
One of the interesting things of this road trip that we just got back from 6 games is I saw a couple games where Shaq came down in the fourth quarter and told his teammates, "Get me the ball." I was curious myself as to whether he really wants the ball at the end of the ball game, because when you can't shoot free throws, it makes it really uncomfortable for you to get the ball, knowing that they're going to foul you immediately and put you on that spot you hate to go to. Now he's making his foul shots. Now he's much more comfortable asking for the ball.
Well, he was making his free throws for a couple of games, but...
Marv, it's always going to be a work in progress. It's never going to be the finished product. What you got to hope is that during the playoffs, if he can shoot 60%, it changes the strategy of the opposing teams at the end of the game. But when it comes down to it, they are still going to make him shoot free throws rather than dunk the ball or lay it in the basket.
What you were indicating to Phil during that discussion, or asking, does he really want the ball, or is he saying after the fact that he wanted the ball?
Right, absolutely, and there's a big difference with, saying, being in the huddle and saying, I want the basketball, as opposed to after the game is over and Kobe's taken a couple shots, be upset that you didn't get it. If you want it, demand it at that time, and Phil said he's starting to do that, which is a positive sign for the Lakers.
Here's Goliak. And Grant deflects it out of bounds. Pro outlaw John Amici checking back in. Shaquille receiving a rest. 15 points, 8 rebounds for Shaq. Meanwhile, the Magic struggling. They've hit only 1 of the last 10.
And they're still winning by 3 because of the free throw struggle that you talked about. But now they can go inside with no Shaq. Watch McGrady go to work inside. Armstrong.
Darrell Armstrong has had trouble finding a rhythm. That's his first field goal. And with Shaq sitting down, the rookie from Stanford, Mark Matson, has come on for the first time. 4 minutes to go in this first half. Ryder. Orlando on the run. Armstrong for 3. Yes.
That's why he needs his legs. He loves to get down the floor and shoot those quick threes. When his leg is sore, he loses that. His effectiveness goes down, and it really hurts his team. But once again, Mike Miller pushing the ball, and that time it was Darrell Armstrong and McGrady on the wings. They buried the 3, and quietly they pushed this lead to 8.
It is their biggest lead of the game.
Tracy McGrady gets the ball inside, and what you're going to do, you have to help. There's no Shaquille back there. What it does, it allows Darrell Armstrong to catch the ball. Lou's a little slow getting to him on the rotation. He buries the 3, and then off the miss, the Magic are going to be running. Doc Rivers wants that ball pushed up the floor. Armstrong got a nice rest. He comes in, and he's at back-to-back 3s. That's why they need the backup point guard to be able to give him some minutes. I think, Marv, on this situation, I think Ryder might have got hurt a little bit, whether he cramped up. It looks like he's holding his leg. Did not get back on defense, and the Lakers had to take a timeout.
Brian Shaw checks back in. J.R. Ryder sitting down. 14 minutes, 4 of 7 from the field. Here's Shaq. He'll be matched up with his good friend John Amici. For the Lakers, this the second of 2 straight at home following that 6-game road trip that Phil Jackson referred to. And then back to the road Wednesday night in Denver. They went 4-2 on the road trip. They lost in Philadelphia. That was easily their worst effort on the trip. And they lost last Sunday, the game that we saw here on NBC, losing in Indiana.
Well, you think that after they lose to Indiana, they're going to Dallas and San Antonio back-to-back. And those are the 2 games they win, so they really answered the bell, and especially against San Antonio when Kobe got hurt. 7 guys in double figures, maybe their best game that they've played in a long, long while, Marv.
Amici. Miller nearly came up with a spectacular tip. 45-37. Orlando with the lead. Now Shaw and Lou in the backcourt. O'Neal is up front with Grant and Matson. Here's Shaw for three. Lakers continue to have problems finding good shots.
They will live with that. Now, the Magic, they'll collapse in on Shaquille O'Neal, and they say, you know what, maybe Shaw will hit a couple shots, or Fox or Lou, but we do not want to get pounded inside. We think the law of averages will be in our favor if we make the Lakers keep shooting jump shots.
Tracy McGrady being played by Brian Shaw. Miller open for three. Yes. Well, the double on McGrady led to the open shot.
Great call. Great call, Marv. You're going to help out. You got shooters out there. You better be careful where you help.
This crowd becoming impatient. Orlando has opened up an 11-point lead. Horace Grant is fouled by Bo Outlaw. A 10-0 run for the Magic with 2:41 remaining in the first half. It's Orlando by 11. There's Miller draining the three. He now has 14. We'll be right back.
Without handles, I'll be without control. Without soul, without man skills to take it to the hole. I be so retaliant, shook so bad. ACL stop buckling. I be constantly in foul trouble. A point guard's favorite target for triple doubles. I be victimized, facialized, posterized. I be some lone spectator on the other side of the fence. Memory lapse, wonder where my skills went. Where would I be without handles? Game over.
When you're the next big thing, everybody wants you, even Kobe Bryant. Introducing McDonald's next big thing, the Big and Tasty.
Too many calories. Too diety. Oh, this one's just right.
Somebody's been drinking my Coke.
Well, somebody's been drinking my Diet Coke. Somebody finished my Pepsi One. That somebody's still in my hot tub.
Anybody got a towel?
Pepsi One, the 1-calorie cola that tastes just right.
The Cadillac DeVille DTS. Expect to handle the conditions, no matter where the road takes you. Expect to see things in the dark, well beyond the range of your headlights. And expect the Guardian Angel to come as standard. DeVille DTS, the fusion of design and technology. Cadillac.
Ahmad Rashad in New York coming up on the Net Zero at the half. We'll have scores and the highlights from today's early games, and we'll have an update on the condition of Sean Marion, who was injured late in the Suns-Jazz game. Plus, we'll have first-half insights on the Magic and the Lakers from PJ and Kevin.
The panel's main man, Doug Collins, had this one early. Free throws killing the Lakers, 7 for 17 from the free throw line.
All right, now back to Marv and Doug.
Thank you, Ahmad. Orlando has surged in front by 11 with 2:41 remaining in the first half. Here's Doc Rivers talking to his team just moments ago.
Hey, listen. This is when we really have to put the defensive pressure on. Don't relax. You got a whole halftime to relax and rest. All right, right now, this little stretch, last 3.5 minutes of each quarter, each half, this is the stretch.
See, Barb, what he's counting on is the speed of his team wearing the Lakers down as the quarter goes on. So they want to be able to make that little surge in the last 3 and 3.5 minutes of every quarter, especially as Shaquille O'Neal has had to run up and down the floor for 9 minutes. So this is when Doc Rivers really wants to make his team have that little push going into halftime.
And the Magic outscoring the Lakers 20-13 here in the second. Free throw by Grant ending a 10-0 run for Orlando, but still a 10-point lead for the Magic. Armstrong played by Lou. Armstrong off the spin, sets it up for Doliak. The time Shaq came out, Doliak bothered the shot.
He didn't catch it cleanly, and on the fumble, Shaq was able to bother the shot.
Fox, taking it to the rim. Nice move by Rick Fox. That's his first field goal.
But you can see, though, the Magic are relentless. They are forcing the Lakers to play transition defense, and that's a big part of the Lakers' weakness on this year is being able to get back.
And in particular, as we mentioned earlier, without Kobe, you get the idea this particular group, they don't even want to deal with what Orlando is doing.
Well, it's sometimes you hear, let's let Kobe sit and watch us play for a little bit. Maybe he'll see, what we want him to do. Trust me, they need Kobe out there playing with he and Shaq and playing at the level they played at before. These other guys are role players.
O'Neal working on Doliak. And they find the open man. It's Fox. That's nicely done by the Lakers. Rick Fox hits a three. And the Lakers are within 5.
The Lakers only 3 of 10 from that three-point line, so they've struggled from there. They've struggled from the free throw line, but they're making their push now, down only 5.
Miller on a quick release. Doliak able to keep it alive and get the new 24. Chant of defense here at Staples. Tracy McGrady draws the foul.
Rick Fox has played exceptionally well for the Lakers over the last 3 games, averaging over 15 points a game. You see him drive the ball to the basket, get inside, and then the good passing out of the double team. Slow rotation by the Magic. He buries the 3. 5 quick points for Fox as he gets his team back into this game. Now they trail only by 5.
Tracy McGrady, a 79% free throw shooter. Young man who has made the jump directly from Mount Zion Christian Academy High School in Durham, North Carolina. First round draft pick, the 9th selection overall right out of high school. And then acquired from Toronto in that sign and trade after spending 3 years with the Raptors.
Marv, it's unheard of for a high school player now not to be known. But, going into his senior year, he wasn't in the top 500 prospects in the nation. He goes to a camp and just takes off. They start talking about him being the best player in the nation, and nobody even heard of this guy before.
Again, the good look. Lou finding Grant. Magic up 50-45, just under 1 minute remaining in this first half. And McGrady, only 21 years old, plays with such poise. Doliak strip. Oh, look out. McGrady with the steal. McGrady with the shot. Yes.
There's the poise. Got the steal. Looked ahead, what was there, pulled up, and hit the little jump shot. That is amazing for a guy that young to be able to have those kind of instincts.
Orlando has a 7-point lead. Shaq looking for position and fouled off the double. Bo Outlaw picks it up.
I really believe that as McGrady gets Grant Hill back with him, he's going to be one of the league's best defenders because he's going to be able to do more of this, expend energy on this end of the floor. He read the passer's eyes late in the passing lane, tipped it to himself, and pulled up and made the little medium-range jump shot. A couple years ago, I think he would probably try to take that ball, maybe dunk it over a guy inside. He now trusts his jump shot, playing the game with great efficiency.
Bo Outlaw just picked up his 4th foul. Troy Hudson is back in. That last free throw seemed to slip off the hand of Shaquille O'Neal. Now 3 of 10. Oh, this is a horrendous first half for Shaq at the line, who seems to be indicating to all who would listen that his troubles were over because he hit a decent stretch, but 44% for the season at the foul line. So the timeout is called with 23 seconds remaining in this first half. A look at the Western Conference. How about the Utah Jazz? 37-17. Portland 38-18 as they lost to the Clippers last night. San Antonio just a half game back. Sacramento lost to the Knicks earlier today. And the Lakers in Sacramento at 36-18. Philadelphia leading the way in the East. There's Orlando in the number 6 position, a half game behind Charlotte, and looking the other way, a half game in front of Toronto.
A lot of things are going to change, but how about in that Western Conference? The first place team right now has 17 losses. The 5th has 18. So you're sitting at 18 losses right now. You're playing on the road. You're playing with 17 losses. You've got the best record in the West. That's how tightly bunched and how things are going to change. And which team is going to get hot at the right time going into the playoffs, Marv, in the Western Conference? That's going to be crucial.
Well, the Magic will inbound with 23 seconds remaining in the first half, and we're told there was a change made on one of the fouls called earlier on Outlaw. They charged Amici, so Outlaw with 3, and Amici has 3. Outlaw does not have 4 fouls.
If Shaq helps, Stoliak will shoot the jump shot.
And here it is, blocked by O'Neal. It's still alive. Stoliak was able to make the play. The Lakers thought it would be a 24-second violation, but you must continue to play the basketball.
I've always said one of the things that's tough at the end of a quarter is many instances the shot clock goes off and players think it's the game clock and they stop playing. The ball was tipped up, the shot clock went off, the players thought it was the game clock and that the half was over. They stopped playing. Watch now, here is Stoliak. He misses the shot. You're going to see the ball, the shot clock up there at the top. Ball is out of his hands, all right? So now the ball goes up. You get a recycle. At that point in time, there's still 3+ seconds. He goes up, he lays the ball in the basket, but the horn sounded, and you see the Lakers waving it off. They thought the half was over.
But the basket does count. And the Magic leading 54-45 at the half. 16 for McGrady, 14 for Miller. O'Neal with 15, but only 3 of 11 from the line. Coming up, Ahmad Rashad, Kevin Johnson, PJ Carlesimo in our New York studio. We'll be back in a moment.
Seville SDS. The fusion of design and technology. Cadillac.
At Wendy's, we'd like to make an important announcement. Our honey ham and chicken sandwich is